Hey all, Rick Rex here, coming at you with another video. This one's a little break from our beginner to in-game series. So I was on test a little earlier working on a loadout video for all of you water lovers out there, and I made some pretty darn good progress, and it's almost done, but y'all are going to have to wait until I wrap that one up and put a bow on it to check it out. Now you're really going to love what I came up with, so stay tuned for that one to drop in the very near future. Also, if you like what you see, hit that like and subscribe button to keep the channel growing, and most importantly to catch those regular updates every single time they drop. So anyways, I was working on the loadout and trying to squeeze every ounce of damage for y'all that I stumbled across something really weird, and I felt like it was important enough to share with everyone since it really kind of goes against everything I've practiced and preached to my league and friends for years about artifacts. Now we as a community have always really relied on the big two of arties since they really came out, and you know the ones I'm talking about, the trans-strat combo, and we pair that up with usually the Grim or the Quiz and maybe sometimes the Solar Amp or even EOG depending on the circumstance and what content we're running, what power we are, and what loadout we're using. But anyone who puts any info out on it usually comes up with the same conclusion, but what if there was a better way? So let's see what I'm talking about. Now, to keep things fair, I took allies out of the equation altogether, and I narrowed my loadout down to literally one power and robot sidekick. Now, the one power that I chose through all of the power sets was spammable and doesn't have a dot on it, and the one that immediately came to mind was ice. So everyone runs with robot sidekick nowadays for the most part, so he's really a benefit, and also to keep things level, let's make sure that he's in the equation. Now, the power that jumped to mind again is ice, and the only thing that's going to impact our testing parses are the arties themselves. So I narrowed it down to that. Now I'm going to run 10 parses each to get an average, as we all know about the spikes and dips that can happen. And I'm also going to do our testing on the 3 test dummies, as I want to make sure to have an even comparison and to not inflate the numbers that we look at. Bear in mind that the numbers that we see are not going to be high. But my point is not to make them high. My point is to see the interaction that comes from the different artifacts and how they actually impact on an even scale what the damage out is going to be. So to begin with, we're going to start with our trans-strat Grim combo. Okay. Now all of them are going to be at rank 200. Bear in mind, if your trans and strat combo are not at 200, it's going to skew the numbers even higher towards different situations. But I want to keep them even, so we're going to look at every single one of them at 200. So again, our first combo is going to be the trans-strat Grim. And let's see how that actually parses out. There's our 10. So let's see what we look like. So on our trans-strat Grim combo, it gave us parses of 91, 193, 97, 781, 112, 587, 124, 781, 107, 349, 102, 950, 109, 846, 97, 377, 103, 713, and 131, 603. That one was a good parse. So that gave us an average of 109, 097. So not bad. Now, let's change it up a little bit and let's go trans-strat Quiz, because that's another very common one. And let's see what we parse out with there. So there's our 10. So let's see what Transtract Quiz gave us. So Transtract Quiz gave us 93,968, 119,666, 107, 593, 93, 291, 110, 921, 108, 424, 98, 026, 107, 376, 105, 137, and 116, 333. And that gives us an average parse of 107,059. So the Transtract Grim over 10 parses actually gave us 2,000 more per second than Transtract Quiz. So if anybody had that question, there's the answer to it. So now let's do something a little different. So if we go Grim with Quiz, and let's go Omegahedron. So for those of you that don't know, during the artifact transition, your Omegahedron changed. So now what it gives you is 765 might and a 4% might boost. Plus, depending on the power range that you're in, it's going to give you either 3 all the way to 10% might boost if you're running might. Prax's a different thing. We'll talk about that later. But for our testing, it's going to end up staying in that 90 to 100% power because the power that we're spamming is very power friendly, and the power is coming back from the test dummies regularly to 100%. So it's going to keep us there, which means we're not showing the full maximized potential of the Omegahedron artifact. But let's see what it looks like with 2 pets out and concentrating on might instead of crits. So let's see what we look like. Alright, and there's our 10. So let's see how we parsed out here. So our Omega Grim Quiz gave us parses on our 10 of 97, 896, 109, 523, 106, 748, 101, 237, 123, 541, 101, 818, 111, 623, 114, 412, and 103, 087, and 112, 167. So that gives us a total let's do that right. 103, 087, and 112, 167. So that gives us an average of 108, 621, which, by the way, guys, is about 400 away from the Transtract Grim per second. But let's go even further and let's check out Quiz Grim Solar. So again, with this one, all we're going to replace is the solar. And the solar amp, again, is going to give us 1785 might plus a 5% bump. So even though the Omegahedron is right there with the Transtract Grim, which actually outparsed the Transtract Quiz, again, the Omegahedron is not being used to its full potential in the least. So let's go a little further and let's check out Solar Grim Quiz. Our 10. So let's see what we came out with solar Grim Quiz. So Solar Grim Quiz gave us 103, 857, 100, 980, 115, 097, 123, 428, 108, 693, 101, 782, 118, 538, 99, 704, 113, 481, and 111, 706. That gives us a parse average of 109.042 parse per second. So that beats everything except for Strat Grim. And by the way, it's 50 per second lower. So next up, we're going to do EOG, Quiz, and Grim. And let's see what that gives us. Alright, and there's our 10. So our EOG Quiz Grim gave us 92, 481, 122, 114, 115, 993, 96, 957, 116, 221, 103, 704, 107, 796, 103, 541, 102, 186, and 111, 577, which gives us an average parse of 105, 706. So, if we take and look at everything that we've looked at today, and we see the Strat Grim gives us an average parse of 109.097, and that one is king on the board. Strat Quiz gives us 107.059. Omega gives us 108.621, and Quiz Grim Solar gives us 109.042, with EOG Quiz Grim giving us 105.706. So the call out that I see here from doing this, and this is why I wanted to reach this to you guys, with Omega being so close, Omega Grim Quiz being so close to Strat Grim, and on its lowest tier, is it going to outperform the combo? Because remember, you're going to have 3 pets going at the same time that are giving you background damage. Your might's going to be higher by quite a bit than your Strat Grim combo, and you're not getting a damage reduction for it. That's really the biggest piece of what we're talking about today. So with Quiz Grim Solar Amp, if you have Solar Amplifier in your loadout, I think you are suffering by using the Strat combo after it's all said and done. So with that being said, guys, that kind of wraps it up. Is the Strat combo replaceable? It's really up to you. But it looks like the field has been so narrowed that it's really kind of even at this point. So this allows for more customization as we go through, and when we're working on our loadouts, we really have a freedom to choose. So take this for what it is, and guys, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you saw, hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you next time with that water loadout. Thanks so much, guys.